I smile at the rain. Even though it's not exactly what I had in mind, I smile at the rain. Even though I was hoping it could wait just a few more days, I smile at the rain. Even though my long-awaited retreat will be quite different with its company. I may not see the sunrise or moonset over the mountains, or the morning sun moving tenderly over the bodies of trees. I may not hear the dawn chorus or the cry of a hawk. I may not get to walk or sit outside without bundling up or getting wet, or sometimes both. Instead, I will behold the mosses in rain-drenched rapture, hear the gentle music of raindrops and the sweet song of the creek, and I will feel the boundless joy and gratitude of countless beings who have been thirsty for so long, gently reminding me that this rain is a precious gift, welcomed and needed by many, including me. I smile at the rain, and I mean it. It's Friday, so you know what that means. It's time for your Wild Weekend Devotion with me, Cass Opal, one of your Wild Worship Facilitators. Now, you might be asking yourself, hey Cass, I see foliage, but it is not the type of foliage you would find in the outdoors, which is normally where your videos are filmed at, and you are correct. I do like to film my Wild Weekend Devotions in outdoor spaces for authenticity, and I will try and do that come rain, shine, heat, cold, snow, it doesn't matter. There is one thing, however, one tiny thing that will keep me from being in the outdoors, and that is humidity. I tried to film in the outdoors today. I can tell you my glasses fogged up so bad and so long I couldn't see the camera. My camera fogged up, and if I would have stayed out there any longer, my hair would have reverted to its natural state, which is curly. So we are indoors today in my office, which also has a lot of lovely foliage. Now, I want to talk a little bit about why I chose that particular poem, about having something lined up or having a special retreat, having plans, and then they're rained out. If you watched my devotion last week, you know that last weekend I was actually out of town camping. I went to Lewis and Clark Reservoir up near Yankton between Nebraska and South Dakota. And we had this incredible trip plan, this wonderful basic campsite. I was so excited. I had it planned for a month and a half. I was like, it's going to be a spiritual retreat. I'm going to find my home and be one with nature. That did not happen. One thing you can't mitigate, in the poem it's rain, in reality it was heat and a swarm of carnivorous biting vampire flies. Anyway, when you can't mitigate the heat and you're being eaten alive by flying insects, that spiritual retreat just doesn't happen. So I had these big, huge dreams and plans to receive a message from nature, and Mother Nature was like, I have a message for you. Humans need to take better care of me, or you're not going to be able to enjoy me for very much longer. That was the message I took from my camping trip. Because the heat was 98 plus, feels like 115 near the entire trip. When we weren't in the tent or trying to keep ourselves from passing out from heat exhaustion, we were being absolutely eaten alive by flies. And at one moment I had a rage-reducing moment when I saw a pair of couples who were out in the lake in kind of the swimming area, and they found a plastic bag, and instead of taking the plastic bag to the trash can, just lobbed it in the water a little bit closer to the shore. But when it didn't make it to the shore, he just shrugged and walked away. Then another couple walked by it, and then another couple, a pair of couples walked directly next to it and did nothing. After watching all of that, full of rage, I marched across the water, grabbed that plastic bag, and marched it to a trash can, because I was like, darn it, people, if you want your children and your children's children to be able to enjoy this lake, you gotta pick up the trash. I don't know why it's so hard to pick up our own trash. But I recognized that while I was being irritated by all of these little things, it's probably how Mother Nature feels. That's probably how our earth feels on a daily basis, with this parasite living on its surface, the parasite being humans, us, constantly leaving our trash everywhere, biting all over. We are the swarm of biting flies. And Mother Earth is the human being eaten alive. And at first I was really annoyed because I was like, I had this beautiful spiritual experience planned and I didn't get it. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I got what I needed. I got what I was supposed to get, and the message that I was given was received. And that is that we have to do better. We have to take better care. But also, the onus and entire responsibility cannot fall on the consumer, because we can't fix climate change just by our singular personal duties every day. It's going to take the corporations. Even if every single human changed their ways and everyone was recycling and everyone was doing better to reduce their carbon footprint, unless the corporations that are doing, and the wealthy at the top who are doing the absolute worst damage to our earth, unless they scale it back, unless they change, unless there is a worldwide consciousness, we're in for worse heat and worse storms and more inhospitable conditions, and we're not going to be able to enjoy Mother Nature much longer. And that makes me deeply sad. And that is part of why I started Wild Worship to begin with, was to form a community who falls in love with our earth again and sees the Spirit of God in every branch, in every animal, in every person, everywhere we look. Because if we see God everywhere, we will treat everything as God, and maybe we'll treat it better. I don't know. That's what I took from my vacation. I vacationed on the surface of the sun, and I do not recommend. So for this weekend devotion, I call to you to take a moment to listen to how much pain our mother is in. The heat, the storms, the rage. Listen to her, and then work with the communities around you to do better. And I will end with a poem from Earth Prayers. This is by Edward Abbey. How strange and wonderful is our home, our earth, with its swirling vaporous atmosphere, its flowing and frozen climbing creatures, the croaking things with wings that hang on rocks and soar through fog and furry grass and scaly seas. How utterly rich and wild. Yet some among us have the nerve, the insolence, the brass, the gall to whine about the limitations of our earthbound fate and yearn for some more perfect world beyond the sky. We are none of us good enough for the world we have, and we owe her everything. Go into the world and give her love, because you and everything you see is a beautiful and beloved part of God. Amen.